Benvenuto, welcome to the Giro d'Italia 2024. It all starts here today, just outside of Torino, but we've got a problem. You see, Tadej Pogacar is gonna do one or two things in this year's edition, and I'm not sure, perhaps you're not sure, which is best for us. He's either gonna dominate from day one or perhaps day two at that summit finish up at Europa. And then from there, it could be a boring edition of what normally is a beautiful race around Italy. Or perhaps he's gonna play it cool, keeping a little bit of energy in reserves, maybe going after those time trials, a couple of mountain stages, so he has enough strength to take on the double, the Tour de France, later in July. I don't know what to think, and I'd like to know your thoughts as well. But here today in Torino, we're gonna speak to the riders of this race, and I hope Pogacar as well, to find out what's gonna happen.
It would be an interesting race on paper if it wasn't for a guy like Pogacar in the race. But I think anything can still happen. Even Geraint Thomas had a quote earlier in the papers this morning talking about how he wouldn't be here if he didn't think he could beat Pogacar. Every GC guy wants to win this race. It's not over before it's begun. That being said, Tadej is the best rider in the world. He's just on another level this year, and it's been amazing to watch. Hopefully someone can compete with him at this race.
This is the mix zone where we do the interviews daily. I just had Michael Woods there, speaking about his hopes and dreams in this Giro d'Italia. I think he said he's already circling stage 8. He brought up Pogacar, but he said, hey, look, these other guys are here, and if they're here to race. But the riders are coming through. We're out here at this beautiful palace. This used to be the capital of Italy, so it has a lot of kind of royal monarchy type feel and a beautiful garden out that way. But importantly, we're here for the riders. How do you think everything's going to play out with Pogacar here?
Yeah, it's hard to say. He's the favorite, but at the same time, you can't. Anything can happen. It's 3 weeks and almost 3,000 Ks, so you can't give him the jersey before the start today. None of us would be here if we really didn't believe it wasn't possible to beat him. So I think in the end, yeah, we could just give him the jersey before the start today, but everyone wouldn't be here. So that's why everybody's here.
Professional cyclist, you're always going to come up against the best in the world, and there's always guys that are great to go above and beyond, but it doesn't mean that you're here just to play with fiddlesticks and be second every time, So you challenge yourself, you apply yourself to your best of your ability and see where it puts you.
It's the big attraction of this year race, and on the paper is by far the strongest, but with the racing you never know.
You see, Tadej Pogacar is head and shoulders above the competition, in theory, on paper. Let's remind ourselves, he's won the Tour de France twice already, has bagged big monuments, Flanders, Liège-Bastogne-Liège, including again this year when he rode away solo. And solo, well, he likes to do that. We saw that earlier this year in the Volta a Catalunya, and we saw it in Strade Bianche, Tadej on 80-kilometer solo rampage to victory there in Siena. We think he's gonna annihilate this Giro d'Italia, but that may not be good for the race.
If it's anything like him, I think he'll probably just go for it. But I think, we just got to race our race, and, getting into that bottom of that climb in a good position is key. So it's going to be a big old bunch sprint into that, I think.
In the races so far this year, as soon as he attacks, everyone doesn't chase him, we race for second. To be honest, I think he could win the race in the first day psychologically by going and everyone plays with each other. So yeah, I'm keen to see how the other GC guys race. That's not my goal for the racing anyway, so I can let the GC guys work that out. I'll sit back, watch, and if I can take advantage of it, I will, of course.
For sure it's not gonna get boring. It's 21 stages, it's gonna happen a lot, and we cannot anticipate that there's just one favorite. There's a lot of favorites here, and I think today there is a few names that can win the stage, so yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting battle on the final steep climb.
So you're asking, why aren't there rivals to take on Tadej Pogacar? Well, there are. There are good riders here like Ben O'Connor and Geraint Thomas, but many don't consider those guys at the same level as Tadej. The riders that are at the same level as Tadej, and there aren't many, well, that's Remco Evenepoel, Primoz Roglic, and Jonas Vingegaard. All those guys aren't racing here in the Giro d'Italia, and there was supposed to be a certain Wout van Aert racing the Giro d'Italia, a bid for a Grand Tour, and perhaps to try to disrupt proceedings for Tadej as he races towards Rome. but you'll remember Van Aert had that nasty crash in Dwars Vlaanderen. So that's how we find ourselves in this situation. The riders are off. This is the Giro d'Italia 2024. The band's playing. We've seen the Trofeo Senza Fine right there, the Golden Spiral Trophy. That's the one Tadej Pogacar hopes to take home after 3 weeks' time. We spoke to all the riders this morning, trying to get an understanding of what the heck's gonna happen in this Giro d'Italia. Is it gonna be the Pogacar show for 3 weeks? Are there gonna be other rivals to give them a hard race, give us a good race to watch on TV? Well, we're gonna have to find out what's in store for us, the fans, here in this Giro.